Hey everybody, I want to talk about, and I want to continue on what I talked about the other day in listing presentation. Hey, it's Dave Finale, DaveFinale.com. Check that out, it's really cool. If you go to my YouTube page, Real Estate Skill Builder, let me know you're there. So it's pretty cool, they got a lot of little videos like this there. But anyway, let's talk about the listing presentation. There's 2 points that I want you to remember in a listing presentation. There's 2 things you have to do. Well, there's 1 thing you have to do, and there's 2 things I'd like you to do, okay? Number 1 is listen, right? So we talk about the listing presentation. I want you to change that to a listening presentation. I want you to make it a listening presentation. Yes, you need to ask questions, but here's the thing. Most people, it takes a while to learn how to do this better, is most people are going to have their next question already, and sometimes, and most of the times, they're not listening to the people that they're presenting to. For instance, to give you an example, yesterday I was at a Zoom meeting that was, I'm gonna be honest, anybody who was in that meeting watches this, I'm sorry, but it was painful. I mean, it's like 2 hours I'll never get back, and I didn't stay for the whole meeting, I had to leave, and they were still going. Talking about an issue that no one seemed to be listening to anybody else, they just had their own ideas. And everybody started thinking, well, I agree with so-and-so, but okay, but. So everything before the but was bullshit, right? It just didn't mean anything. Or everything after the but is bullshit, your call. My point is that no one was really listening to what everybody was talking about, right? It was just a group of people, it was a bunch of people that wanted to be chiefs, they wanted to be president of the company, but they had an employee mindset, right? So they wanted to be the CEO and get that big check, but they wanted to be the employee. They didn't want to listen. They wanted to jump right to the head of the class. I mean, there's a lot of little sayings here. Anyway, here's the point. If you listen and then react to what you hear with what you know, and how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to be prepared. You'll have practiced. You'll know your questions. You'll have a plan in what you're doing. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Ohanis. Good morning, Imad. You're going to have a plan in what you're doing. So here's what you do in a listing presentation. You have a plan, right? You're going to know your presentation. You're going to know exactly how it's going to go. There will be sidetracks with questions you may not be ready for, but if you've done the correct work beforehand, you will be ready for them, because there won't be as many questions, because you'll be answering them as you move along, and the response you really want to get from when you're doing it and after you're doing it is, no, you answered the questions we had, you know? It's not all the time, but I want you to hesitate in your response to any questions you may get. If I cut out, I'm sorry, but it was listening, and then when you go to answer a question that you may get, I want you to start answering it and then hesitate. Or I want you to hesitate before you answer it, right? A little hesitation. So there's 2 really big points. I said there are 2 points to your listing presentation. One is listening, the other is hesitation. But I want to go a little bit further on the listening, right? So and to have a plan. You know what you're going to do. If you've practiced, you know the points you want to get across. And that's your only reason, that's your only thing you want to finish with. And what I mean by that is that you'll get those points across, even if it takes you a couple minutes longer, because you've got to ask different questions depending on what they say. Don't have a plan and not be able to shift, right? And that's what practice does. That's what being the Boy Scout is. Boy Scout, my favorite line for being prepared, right? The reason most people do not succeed in this business on the phones and in presentations is they're not prepared, right? We sound a little bit nervous when we practice it, or when we practice it, we're not nervous, and then we forget everything. Stage fright. Let's get rid of the stage fright, and let's know we've got 4 things we want to find out, or we want to put upon them the 4 marketing things that we love to do. You see, if you love to do something, you're going to be passionate about it. So even though you might have a 2,000-point marketing plan or an 89-point marketing plan, pick 3 or 4 or 5 things that you love to do, talk about them. Maybe it's 1 thing, right? Maybe it's the pre-marketing video that I talk about all the time. And if you're not doing that, well, do it. And last but not least, hesitate in your responses. It makes them, like if you're sitting there and you talk a little bit lower, they got to move forward to hear you, or they move forward because you hesitate as emphasis. Okay, so Should you guys think this is important and makes sense, let me know by saying you agree, or give me your ideas on what you think you should add to these two most important points in your presentation style, right? Listening and hesitation. Remember, a listing appointment should be a listening appointment, right? Change your mindset. Change your mindset, change your income. I'm Dave Finale. Please go to davefinale.com, or you know what? Skip the middlemaN, go to realestateskillbuilder.com. There's some great crap there. It's brand new too. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Dave Finale here. Bye.